I think people are afraid of making mistakes, but making mistakes is the only way that you can master the terminology. Yes, I've mastered the terminology. Although it looks like me today probably ate that version of me, it's a good point. What does it take to be looked at as an expert in your field? Is it, as Malcolm Gladwell says, 10,000 hours? How do you build credibility? How do you deal with feelings of having imposter syndrome? You fake it till you make it? Where do you begin? My buddy just sent me this video of me from about 5 years back, and I think it does a decent job of explaining what I think your priorities should be.
Know your industry. Don't know the terminology. Master the terminology.
Don't know the terminology, master the terminology. Although it looks like me today probably ate that version of me, it's a good point. It isn't enough to be familiar with your industry's jargon. People will sniff you out and can probably tell within a few seconds if you really know what you're talking about or if you're just full of it. So how do you master the terminology? Notice that I say master the terminology. I think oftentimes CEOs or founders especially try to learn too much, right? That's not your job. Your job isn't to be an engineer. Obviously, there are some CEOs who are engineers and they have already mastered everything about the process. In most cases, however, that's not what the CEO needs to learn. The CEO needs to know how to talk about those things, how to delegate those things to the people that know more than they do. So that's where mastering the terminology comes into play. Being able to understand what your clients, your partners, your suppliers are talking about, and then work with your company internally to find the best solution is the easiest and most efficient way of getting things done. I'll give you an example. I'll have a client come to me and say, look, Josh, is it okay if we use Eagle to make adjustments to our Gerber files prior to you guys making modifications on the PCB design? Yeah, I know what all those things are, but I don't know the answer. And it would be irresponsible for me to answer a question that an engineer needs to be answering. So in situations like that, yes, I've mastered the terminology. I know what all of those words mean. But in situations like that, I'll always defer to the experts. Hey, client X, let me get back to you. I'll talk to our engineers and give you an answer by end of day. That is mastering the terminology. I'm not doing too much. I know just enough to be involved as much as I need to be involved in the process. If you've watched enough of these videos, you've probably heard that I dropped out after only a few semesters of university. While I did learn a lot in university, my formal training or education in this business came from YouTube, Google, and making a lot of mistakes through experience. I think people are afraid of making mistakes, but making mistakes is the only way that you can master the terminology. It's the only way that you can really, truly understand. When it hits the fan, that's when you learn the most. Get outside of your comfort zone. Use the resources that we have in 2022, almost 2023, and use them as efficiently as you can. Study every word that you should know and know what it means, so that when you are faced with problems outside of your comfort zone, you not only know who should deal with it, you can direct people in the right way to maximize and efficiently solve the problems that hit your desk. Master your terminology and you'll be way ahead of your competition. Peace.